Hey guys, how are we doing?
Fine.
This crew is getting ready to film what may become the most important fishing commercial ever made. It all started with a letter written by a 14-year-old boy, Matthew Deakins. He wanted to share a discovery he'd made, share it with other young people just like himself. His classmates in Dunellen, Florida are pretty much like other middle school students everywhere in America. Learning and growing, they face many similar problems. What Matthew wants to share with others is fishing. The waters near his home hold many largemouth bass. They are considered tremendous fighters. But to Matthew, fishing is more than just catching bass. And he saw how possibly fishing could help other young people. And so he wrote a letter to the Future Fisherman Foundation.
For about 6 months, I've been thinking about trying to help combat the drug problem among middle and high school kids like myself. Drugs are everywhere I look, and many kids who use drugs don't realize how great it is to get out and fish, and be turned on by catching fish or just enjoying the great outdoors.
In that letter, Matthew put down his idea for the commercial. Like many other young people, he knew that growing up isn't always easy. And he wanted to show that going fishing is a smart way to work things out. His friend, Jorn Schuett, agrees.
If you do drugs, you're just wasting your money. You can be out with your friends, too, just going fishing. Have a lot more fun. I mean, when you go to a party or something, that's really no fun. You go home, you probably get in trouble and everything else. When you go fishing, there's no harm to it. You save money and everything in the long run. And your mind doesn't get messed up. I know I want to do something with fishing when I grow up.
If you do drugs, it's not going to get you anywhere. I tell people if somebody offers you drugs, just tell them no. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid to say no, because it's all right if you want to say no.
To Matthew, nothing is more important than his family. He knows his parents always want the best for him, and they think his interest in fishing is great.
Show your parents that you do like what you're doing, and that you're not embarrassed to have them around friends or anyone like that, because they're just ordinary people. You guys have a nice time? Okay, good.
At a young age, Matthew has developed an understanding of how important it is to pass on what he has learned about fishing.
I really enjoy showing someone else how to fish. Most of the time when they catch a fish, they're hooked forever. Really, man.
Oh, Lord.
That's it. Now you're doing it. Fighting.
Here.
That's it. That's it.
Okay, now what?
That's it.
Just
Bring
let
him
him
over to the
come.
boat. Bring him over to the boat. Over to this side of the boat. That's right. That's right. Bring him. Pick up on the rod.
Get up.
For Matthew and Jorn, fishing gives them the time and the place to figure things out. They depend not on drugs, but on living, on fishing, and on life itself.
It's important that kids my age understand they have to start looking out for themselves. They have to start making the right decisions, or it may end up affecting their whole life, for the rest of their life.
Everything is set for filming. Cameras are ready to roll, and now it's up to the boys to bring on the bass.
Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and head up into that cove.
Hey, Matt, do you see that bass over there, Cass?
Hooked on fishing, not on drugs.
Well, there you have it. A public service announcement to be seen by millions of parents and young people across America. And all this happened because one 14-year-old boy cared enough to help someone else.
I hope this commercial will help show kids some of the fun they can have in the outdoors. I hope it encourages them to stay away from drugs.
This film has been sponsored by the Future Fisherman Foundation, Spirit Lake, Iowa.
I remember worn out sneakers, scruffy haircut, patched up trousers. Oh, I remember growing up that way, and sitting in a floating castle, cane poles and angleworms, catching sunfish in a quiet bay. Oh, I remember noisy oarlocks, grub worms in old sunglasses, and one candy bar that we both shared. Never saying a word for hours, but feeling more than words could say. Both of us so happy to be there. Just me and a friend I used to call my old man. So pass it on. I'm never gonna fish alone. Pass it on. I'm fishing with the ones I love. Pass it on. I'm never gonna fish alone. I learned that growing up with my dad. And I remember catching bullheads and trying to keep my fear from showing, while praying that they'd get off on their own. But with my luck they were on forever, until a strong hand saved the day. Oh, I was glad I wasn't all alone. And we'd go moving on down the highway, pulling our fishing boat, taking time out for a hamburger, and then back on the road. It was our only time together, but what a time we had. Oh, I was proud to be just fishing with my dad. So pass it on. I'm never gonna fish alone. Pass it on. I'm fishing with the ones I love. Pass it on. Don't ever fish alone. I learned that growing up with my dad. Now today I see those worn out sneakers, scruffy haircut, patched up trousers, and I remember growing up that way, and sitting in a floating castle, cane poles and angleworms, and catching sunfish in the same old bay. Just me and a friend I call my son. So pass it on.
I love you, Dad.